welcome back to the Great Green North. Welcome to another lawn tip video. Now, for those of you who are new here, and I know there's tons of you that are coming here as soon as we hit fall renovation season, this is the channel where I'll get your lawn from brown and disgusting to green and beautiful in just over a year. So if that sounds great to you, please hit that subscribe button. Also, please share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with everybody. We're trying to grow this channel, hopefully get more followers here, get the tips going, make sure everybody has a great lawn and enjoys lawn care right here. I'm experienced, worked at a golf course, worked for a lawn care company. I have lots of experience. Also, I'm an extreme hobbyist and I'm here to help you. So if that sounds like a great idea to you, hit that subscribe button. Anyways guys, back with another video. Sorry for the wait. I've been really busy. For those of you who don't know, I work full-time in a different job. I build decks for a living. So living here and working on the lawn and filming videos has been a little bit on the back burner for the last week. Been busy working late at work almost every day. So without further ado, this video we're going to be giving you an update on the fall renovation, final update. This is 4 weeks or 5 weeks after, so most germination should be complete by now. Things should be becoming more established. Fertilizer definitely kicking in. We've definitely hit fall. Our temperatures now are dropping between maybe only climbing to about 18, 19 during the day and dropping down to about 4 or 5 degrees at night, maybe in the 7, 8 range if we're lucky. So things are definitely cooling down. The trees are just starting to turn and the season's changing into fall. We passed the last day of summer, so we're going to be telling you about that, and then with the changing seasons we're going to be talking about fall lawn tips. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First of all, let's talk about the status of the lawn, how it's looking. Okay, so here's the front yard. This was just cut yesterday and stripes looking real good. The color is definitely popping. We're starting to get into that fall color. Now fall is an interesting time because you get a real good color, a real nice dark green color. You don't have to put down a lot of fertilizer. The lawn tends to slow down, or growth is already starting to slow down. You get lots of rain though and less sunlight compared to the spring. So you start to see, you know, things like this where the grass is laying over, and that's because we just don't get enough sunlight for the grass to stand up. So you end up getting kind of a matted, laid over look. But the stripes are really nice, and this is definitely looking really great after the renovation. 10 times better, consistent color, consistent thick. It's really thick, guys. You will not even, it's amazing. This is cut at 3.5 inches, which we'll get into a little later, why I'm not cutting at 4 inches anymore. This section was newly seeded. Now, we have a whole bunch of walnut trees and they're known for messing with the soil pH, messing with the soil. So that's why this area is thinned out. This is newly seeded. The trees were thinned out a little bit, so hopefully this will grow in. But this is the result. We're getting a full stem. Looks like mostly fescue and rye to me. A little bit of bluegrass in there. Now you gotta remember, grass takes about 12 months to become fully established. Bluegrass takes about 24 months. So we're not gonna see a heavy establishment of that grass until sometime next year. But for now, it looks really good. Really happy with that result. Now before I show you the next spot in the lawn, this was the main renovation area. This spot was really bad. For those of you who don't know, I had a tornado last year in my house. We're on location, and I had a tree actually fall on my house. So we had construction all year here on this side yard. Lots of trampling. This is a high traffic area. All the trampling started when we built our deck, and then year after year it's just been pattered on. We did trenches here for piping and drainage issues and all that. So most of the thing, everything's been fixed now, and it's time to just focus on strengthening the lawn. So this year was step 1 on strengthening the lawn. So let's take a look at that. So step 1 here on the side yard is looking really good. The color is amazing. This is probably the thickest this has ever been. So really happy with this. Sorry for the leaf cover, as you can see, starting. This area up here, this area was completely bare right in here, and you can still see there's one bare spot right there that I need to fix. This is all fresh seed, filled in really nice. Now definitely still some thin patches you can see, but that will be fixed coming into next spring. We're going to push it with fertilizer, we're going to push it with nutrients, we're going to get it to grow and fill out, as well as this section over here. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know it used to be grass. We turned this into a nice garden because just this is another walnut tree messing with this grass. Never grew here, too much shade, difficult to mow and everything like that. So this is now a nice garden. Grass is going to end right here, so we just pretty much got one more section to fill in. But other than that, really happy with this side yard. And then even coming around this side, this garden was changed as well when the tree but this is also a lot nicer, a lot thicker. So just in general, this side yard looks 100 times better than it did. Finally, let's give you an update on the backyard. Now, we had a big heat wave come in at the end of the year in late August, and that took a toll on the backyard. We had a lot of burning spots from heat exhaustion, drought. I was watering it, but the water can never keep up when you have drought conditions for over a month. It causes a lot of problems. We had a very wet spring this year. We had a very wet early start to the summer, which helped a lot. So in general, let's take a look at what the backyard looks like now. So this is the backyard. As you can see, it's looking amazing. Fresh cut on this. Stripes coming in really good. The thing, super thick. I was actually getting clumping because it was slightly wet because the rain just doesn't stop. We've had thunderstorm after thunderstorm after thunderstorm. Plus I've been irrigating, but this looks amazing. The grass quality here is awesome. It's very thick, very lush. Definitely with a couple more years of heavy fertilizing, I think this backyard can get to the stage that my front yard at. My front yard is pretty virtually weed free, not really anything I have to do with it. It's very low maintenance when it comes to watering. I'm hoping to get my backyard there in a couple of years. It takes a while to get all the new grass established, healthy, and everything good. Getting all the disease. Now, mainly the two things I'm fighting in the backyard right now is insects and disease. I pretty much got the disease under control. I had brown patch issues. That's pretty much under control now. But I'm still fighting insects, and that's what's going on up here. So this area has been attacked by grubs now about 3 years in a row. So as you can see, the seed is coming in here and it's thickening back up, but I'm still fighting grubs here. I'm going to do another grub treatment up here. Now, for those of you looking, this is not, the damage is already done. Grubs have gone to bed for the season. So this right now is going to be a next year, early spring, early May treatment of grubs, because that's when the larvae hatch. That's when you need to treat grubs, is early May. Up here, did a sod patch here a couple weeks ago, looking pretty good. Thickened up a little bit of the grass up here. It's still a little thin just because it gets so much shade. It's hard to keep it thick. Same with under there. Did some more seeding and turned out really good. From up here, you can just see how awesome the backyard looks. Down here, today actually, just before I started filming, we trimmed some of these trees up. And this used to be pretty much solid forest. So as you can see, a little bit of grass coming up in here, but this eventually will be seeded next year, next spring. I might actually do spring seeding just to show you guys what if spring seeding is possible. And then this will be definitely coming up next year, our new grass plot. We're back here. It's going to get way more sun. At least if we could get grass kind of in here. But I mean, we have grass under there. Growing grass in here shouldn't be the biggest deal in the world. And that's it, guys. That is the results of the fall renovation for 2021. So great results, way better than last year. That aerator made a big difference, definitely improved the color. Fertilizer also helped improve the color. My program this year has definitely been perfected. The in-ground irrigation system in the backyard has helped tons, made a big difference with watering the seed and everything like that. I'm really happy with that. Overall, fall renovation looking really good. Definitely my next fall fertilizer application, my Winterizer, will be coming up here very soon, and that will definitely help put everything to bed, give that seed a little bit more juice before the winter comes and everything like that. That's what you really want. You want to stay on top of it. Don't let that seed, the seed is not there. It takes all this energy to get out of the soil and begin growing. So if you just neglect it after that, you're not going to get seed growing. You're not going to get seed germinating. It's just going to die off. And that's what happens. If you guys have really good germination, but then it all dies off, you didn't feed it right. So fertilizer is important. Keeping that in mind, this is going to be coated in fertilizer coming up in the next couple weeks. So without further ado, now let's get into fall lawn tips, how to keep your lawn green and lush in the fall. So first I'm going to touch on lawn tips, everything to do with the lawn. Then I'm going to touch on some landscaping tips because I know a lot of you are into landscaping as well. I'm going to be trying to make a little bit more landscaping content here, but without further ado, let's get into the lawn tips. So first of all, coming into the fall, you have been cutting your lawn. If you're following my program, you guys have been cutting your lawn at 4 inches all year. And this is to give the lawn more photosynthesis, more leaf surface to absorb more nutrients, as well as it encourages more root growth, which helps strengthen your lawn in the hard drought seasons of the summer. Now, we're coming out of the summertime. As I said earlier, we're getting way less sunshine. Hey, as I said earlier, we're getting way less sunshine. Pretty much every day you're gonna see me recording now, it's overcast. So we're getting way less sunshine. You can't keep your lawn at 4 inches when you don't have sunshine. There's nothing for the lawn to grow towards. The lawn's just gonna lie over. You're gonna get disease and other problems like that. So you need to start lowering your lawn down. I cut this at 3.5, so I'm already dropped a ½ inch. But to take it down 1 notch every mow till about mid-October. Then you're gonna be getting close to your final height for the last cut of the year, which should be either 3 inches or 2.75. So I'm at 3.5 right now. I'll probably stay at 3.5 till Thanksgiving. Then I'll start dropping it down to 3.25, and then the final cut of the year, which is for me is about mid-October, will be about 3.25. So that's the biggest thing, guys, is you need to start thinking ahead to the end of the season. Your goal is that what needs to get done before the end of the season. I find a lot of people in the fall just kind of, as soon as the summer's over, they ignore the lawn, they don't care about it anymore, they just kind of coast into the end of the season, and that is when you have problems next spring. The fall is all about setting up your lawn for the next season, because this is the best time to get any sort of lawn projects done. So if you want to have a great lawn next season, you got to put the work in the fall. This is the most important time of the year. So mowing, make sure that you're dropping that height down to 3 inches before the end of your lawn season, because that is going to make sure less snow mold, less matting, less damage over the winter time when the snow mats down your lawn. So that's tip number 1. Now tip number 2, we're going to talk about winterizer. Now this is a popular term that people use for your final fertilizer application of the year. They talk about winterizer or fall fertilizer. Now Scott's brands a fall fertilizer that's specifically supposed to be a winterizer. Most of those brand names on the Scott's products are just the brand that they're branding the formula to. So the formula is those 3 numbers on the bag: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. I will make a video about that once we get there. However, what you're going to be looking for is something that is high nitrogen and high potassium. You want to make sure that you're pumping that root growth in the fall. This is the best time to get root growth, so you want to be pumping that in. And then the nitrogen is just food. Now, most of the time, the winterizer is not processed in the fall. It will not be processed till the next spring, that fertilizer application that you put down. So next spring, your lawn will start to grow. We'll process that fertilizer application that you put down just before the lawn went into dormancy, and then you'll process your next fertilizer application, your first spring fertilizer, if you're following my program. So winterizer is a good thing to think about. Go out to the store, make sure you got your winterizer. If you're new here, go get a spreader. You can put that down. I have linked videos in the description down below how to apply fertilizer. Plus, I will be making a full detailed video about how to apply fertilizer, because I know there's a lot of new people here. I don't want to overwhelm you, but winterizer is a very important thing, setting yourself up for the next season. Next, we're going to talk about irrigation. Now, you're probably going, wait, why are you talking about irrigation? It's fall. It rains every day. It's gloomy, all that stuff. No, but irrigation is something very important. Just because it's not 30 degrees and sunny every day doesn't mean your lawn needs water. Pretty much, if your lawn needs about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water every week. And if it's windy, that wind actually pulls the water out of the soil. So your EP rates do go down, your evaporation rates do go down because there's less sunlight. However, it doesn't mean you need to shut your irrigation system off. I have still been running my irrigation system regularly. In fact, I'm going to run it tonight, just because the grass here is damp. As you can see, the soil is quite damp. I'm matting it like that, it's sticking together. However, the grass, the soil can still dry out. We still have dry periods in the fall. We're in a pretty wet period right now, but looks like the next week is going to be a dry period. So don't forget about that irrigation. Don't forget about the commitment, especially if you guys have new seed. That new seed needs to be irrigated. You can't just go full on relax mode on that. You need to keep the water going on your new seed. So keep your irrigation ready, keep your hoses out, don't put anything away yet. You're going to need to be irrigating. Sometimes you need to irrigate even when the lawn is dormant. The ground can still dry out, and that can still affect your lawn next year, your roots and everything like that. So keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind for those of you with in-ground systems, maybe start calling your local dealer or your local installer that blows out your system for the year, or maybe think about doing it yourself. How are you going to do it yourself? I'm going to be making a video tutorial about how to do it yourself, because this is the new system that I put in myself, and I'm going to be blowing it out myself with a compressor. We're going to be making a video about that. First time I've ever done it, but we're going to be trying it out, figuring out along the way with you guys. But make sure that you're getting on the phone, you're calling, asking, hey, I need to get my system blown out. Most of the time you want to get it done before things get really cold, So a freeze or a frost that everywhere in there is fine, but when things get really cold, you want to make sure that you have that system cleared out. For people in Southern Ontario, I recommend sometime about end of a Halloween, early November in there. That's when you should get your system blown out. So I'll be doing mine here soon, making a video for those of you who want to do it DIY like me. Another thing to think about is Halloween. Now, this is the biggest day in the lawn care community. We call it Halloween Domination. So when all of your neighbors come to your house for Halloween, they're going to see that how great your lawn's looking. This is your date you need to set in your head, the final date where I'm going to do the final mow. My lawn is going to look the best. Everybody's going to be walking up that lawn. They're going to be seeing your lawn. They're going to be talking to you. They're going to know that you've had the best lawn. It's your final point in the year to show everybody how you have the best lawn on the block. So Halloween is your dead point. You need to be moving towards that. Lawn Care Nut calls it Halloween Domination. It is coming up. You need to be looking towards that. Make sure how you can get the best lawn for Halloween. Next, let's talk about frost. Now, normally about now, we've already had a couple frost warnings. We haven't had any yet. It's been decently mild here, but frost warning is probably coming up this week. Now, what frost does when you get a major crop damaging frost, your first crop damaging frost, that's when your lawn stops growing. So for us, our first crop damaging frost is normally around Thanksgiving, but we normally get frost before that. And when there is frost, you want to try to stay off the lawn. Now, this time is the most damaging time for frost because when there is frost this season, there's no snow or anything on top of your lawn to protect those crowns. So when there's a thick layer of frost on top of your lawn and you get out there and walk on it or you drive a vehicle on it, it will actually break those crowns off the plant, and you'll actually notice footprints in the lawn of the crowns you've broken. At our local park, we put up Christmas lights every year, close to 150,000. Hauled by volunteers. We had trucks drive around the year to deliver the events for the ignition ceremony, and those trucks drove on top of the grass early in the morning before the frost had burned off, and that actually killed stripes in the grass where the truck tires were. Now, this is why there's frost delays on golf courses and everything like that. You want to make sure that you stay off the lawn when frost is here. So definitely frost in the fall, very concerning. Stay off the lawn when the frost is here. So keep that in mind. Frost in the fall, want to stay off the lawn. Even if it's just one morning, just wait till it burns off. Then you can go out and get your grass cutting done. Just make sure that you're not mowing that frosty grass. Not a good idea. Last, weed control. I know some of you are following me are in the United States or up here in Canada where weed control is sprayed. Weed control needs to be sprayed when it's above 10 degrees. It also needs to be sprayed on actively growing weeds. So we're getting to the point here where weed control is no longer a factor. You can no longer spray weed control. So keep that in mind. For those of you looking to spray weed control, it has to be sprayed on actively growing weeds. So weed control is definitely something to keep in mind here. Keep that in mind that you're getting to the end of your season with weed control. If you want to get any weed control down, get it down soon. Make sure that you allow it to dry on the plant before you get rainfall. That's another important thing with weed control. Just want to make sure we're getting the minimum impacts on the environment, because this is why weed controls have been banned, is because of misuse. So I want to educate the correct use of weed control and fertilizers and everything to make sure that we can keep using these products properly and effectively and stop the runoff. Finally, leaves. This is the big thing that happens in the fall. All of the leaves from the trees fall down. As you can see, I have many trees. I do about 180 leaf bags a year at this property. However, the problem is that the leaves will actually sit on top of the grass so thick they can kill the grass. Leaves also carry disease, pathogens that can be transferred to your lawn. So the best thing to do is either to mulch your leaves in if you have a very thin layer of leaves. So last time I did a mow, I mulched the leaves in. It was a very thin layer of leaves. As you can see, this is what I would call thin layer leaves. You can just see the couple. However, when your leaves start to get thick, I definitely suggest removing those leaves off the property. You don't want any of that getting into your soil. When your leaves are really thick, I do not recommend mulching them in. You can mulch them in to a certain extent, but once you get past that point, there's no point in mulching them in. You might as well just rake and get rid of them. We have so many leaves here, there's no way we would be able to mulch them in. So please rake and get rid of your leaves. It doesn't also help you, it helps your neighbors. It keeps the leaves from your property growing into your neighbors and everything else like that. So rake and get rid of your leaves, mulch them in, do whatever you want to do, but leaves, definitely keep it off the mind. Keep it that don't let it get matted on your lawn and smother your lawn. That's not good. So without further ado, that's pretty much it for fall lawn tips, anything to do with the lawn. Let's talk about a couple. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the fall lawn tips, lawn update, everything like that. I hope your guys' lawn tips are going well. For all of you new here, please subscribe. Help me grow this community. I'm trying to get to at least 500 subscribers before the end of the season. We're almost at 400, so we're getting there. So I'm trying to get there. Let's see if we can make it. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching. This is a very long video. I might repost parts of it in shorter clips just to see, for you guys who want to watch the shorter clips, I'll label them clips if I repost them like that. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining, making this community happen. I'm really thankful for how this is going, and I hope to grow it. We go here all winter, guys, so stay tuned. Great, more lawn tips to come, more fall lawn tips, more leaves, more everything. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, I'll help get your lawn the best on the block. And from the Great Green North, my name is Wayne Murray. As always, keep it green.